A nation the size of New Jersey, surrounded by enemies and tested by real wars, quietly built weapons so smart, so deadly, so precise that superpowers are now lining up to buy them. These are not prototypes sitting in labs. These are battle-tested combat, proven missiles that have already changed the outcome of real conflicts. And today the entire world wants them. The question is, how did Israel pull this off? Let's find out. Israel has always been a country born under fire. From its very first day of existence in 1948, it faced invasions from multiple directions with almost no military resources. Survival was not optional, it was everything. Decades of constant conflict forced Israel to do something extraordinary, which was to build weapons smarter, faster, and more precise than anything its enemies could counter. Fast forward to today, and Israel has quietly become one of the top 5 arms exporters on the planet. Not because of size, not because of money, but because necessity forged innovation like nowhere else on Earth. When we say smart missiles, we mean weapons that think. Israeli precision-guided munitions like the Spike missile family and the Harop loitering munition use advanced sensors, artificial intelligence, and real-time targeting to strike with pinpoint accuracy. These are not Cold War-era rockets fired and forgotten. Israeli missiles can be launched redirected mid-flight lock onto moving targets and even abort a strike if civilians appear in the kill zone. That level of control changes everything. Militaries no longer have to choose between speed and accuracy. With Israeli smart weapons, they get both wrapped in decades of real battlefield testing. Here is what separates Israeli weapons from the competition. They have been used in actual wars. The Spike missile has seen combat in Lebanon, Gaza, and beyond. The Iron Dome, which is Israel's famous air defense system, has intercepted thousands of real incoming rockets with a success rate that stunned military analysts worldwide. When a country buys Israeli weapons, they are not buying a promise. They are buying a track record. Real enemy fire. Real countermeasures. Real results. No simulation matches that, and defense ministers from Europe to Asia know it. Battle-proven technology sells itself, especially when the stakes are national survival. If Israeli smart weapons had a flagship product, it is the Spike missile system developed by Rafale Advanced Defense Systems. Spike is an anti-tank, multi-purpose precision missile used by over 40 countries, including Germany, Spain, South Korea, India, and the United States. Spike can be fired from helicopters, vehicles, ships, or soldiers on foot. It uses electro-optical and infrared guidance, meaning it locks on and hunts its target, even through smoke, darkness, and countermeasures. With multiple variants for different ranges and missions, Spike is not just a missile. It is an entire warfare ecosystem trusted by armies worldwide. One of Israel's most feared and fascinating weapons is the Harop, which is a loitering munition, often called a suicide drone. Unlike traditional missiles that are fired straight at a target, the Harop circles silently in the sky for hours, hunting for radar emissions and high-value targets. When it finds one, it dives and detonates. It is essentially a flying bomb with patience. Azerbaijan used the Harop devastatingly against Armenian air defenses during the 2020 Nagorno-Karabakh war, destroying radar systems before conventional attacks even began. The world watched in shock. Orders for Israeli loitering munitions surged almost immediately after that conflict ended. No Israeli system captured global imagination more than the Iron Dome. Designed to intercept short-range rockets and artillery shells, it uses radar tracking and Timir interceptor missiles to neutralize threats mid-air. During intense conflicts in Gaza, Iron Dome achieved interception rates above 90%, protecting Israeli cities from thousands of rockets in real time. The world had never seen anything like it. The United States invested billions in Iron Dome development and acquired 2 batteries for its own army. Other nations from Romania to India began exploring similar systems. Israel had essentially redefined what national air defense could look like in the 21st century. The global demand for Israeli weapons exploded after several pivotal moments. Russia's invasion of Ukraine showed that conventional warfare is still brutally real. The Nagorno-Karabakh War proved drones and smart munitions can decide conflicts in days. Rising tensions in the South China Sea, the Taiwan Strait, and the Middle East have every nation quietly reassessing its arsenal. Countries that once relied on old Cold War stockpiles are now racing to modernize. And when they look for battle-proven technologically superior precision-guided systems, Israel's defense industry keeps rising to the top of the list. Geography creates urgency. Urgency drives demand. Demand fuels Israel's arms boom. Israel's defense exports have grown into a multi-billion-dollar industry. In recent years, annual arms exports surpassed $12 billion, with customers spanning 6 continents. Major Israeli defense companies like Rafael Elbit Systems and Israel Aerospace Industries are household names in global military procurement circles. India alone has signed multi-billion-dollar deals, with Israel making it one of the largest buyers of Israeli military technology. European NATO members are integrating Israeli systems into their defense frameworks. Even countries that do not publicly acknowledge ties with Israel quietly acquire its technology through third parties. The business of Israeli defense has become genuinely global, discreet, and enormously profitable. With great demand comes serious scrutiny. Israel's arms exports have drawn international criticism, particularly when its weapons are used in conflicts involving civilian casualties. Human rights organizations have raised concerns about the use of Israeli-made drones and munitions in Yemen, Myanmar, and the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. Critics argue that Israel sometimes prioritizes economic and strategic relationships over human rights considerations. These are legitimate and important debates. A nation celebrated for building precision weapons designed to minimize collateral damage must also answer for how those weapons are ultimately used. The technology may be smart, but the decisions about who uses it and where are entirely human. Israel is not slowing down. Its defense industry is already deep into next-generation warfare technologies, including AI-powered autonomous weapons, hypersonic missile systems directed, energy lasers, and cyber warfare integration with physical munitions. The Iron Beam, which is a laser air defense system capable of shooting down drones and rockets at nearly zero cost per shot, is already operational. As warfare evolves from battlefields to algorithms, Israel is positioning itself at the center of that revolution. The nation that built its military out of desperation has transformed that urgency into one of the world's most sophisticated and sought-after defense ecosystems. And the world is paying close attention. If this video opened your eyes to how a small nation became a global weapons powerhouse, drop a comment below and tell us what surprised you most. If you want more deep dives into the technology, strategy, and geopolitics shaping our world, hit subscribe right now, because we publish content that mainstream media simply will not cover. Share this video with someone who needs to understand what modern warfare really looks like. And remember, the future of conflict is not just about who has the most soldiers. It is about who has the smartest weapons.